And this is where things can go very wrong, my friends. This is the make it or break it. All right, so we're here in Pancake House. If you grew up in the Philippines, this would have probably been one of your childhood staples. The pancakes are good. Spaghetti's not bad, but I remember the tacos being really extremely legendary and delicious. I haven't had them in probably close to a decade, so let's see if that still stands true today. Time to dissect this. So super key, the first thing I see is the tortilla itself. It's super crunchy. Next, pretty simple ingredients that we have going on here. We got the beef mix, the lettuce, some chopped tomatoes, and then some cheese. So again, very strong tomato flavor. The beef kind of has that chili con carne vibe in terms of the spices that are used and everything. Lettuce, very simple. There's some onions with the tomatoes, so like a very quick salsa. Very important. The salad leaves are tossed with a sauce. I just tasted it now. I didn't taste it a while ago, but now I did. So there's a dressing on the salad as well. So dressing on the salad, salsa, onions and tomatoes are probably brined in something too because the onions aren't too sharp. The cheese I need to figure out. The beef, I think I got it. What's gonna make or break this recipe is the recipe behind this hard shell flour tortilla. Let's see. Back to the studio we go. Woo! Okay, so you could be using one of these hard shell corn tortillas that you find in the supermarket. These are basically like glorified chips. They taste like chips. But when we tried the taco yesterday in Pancake House, don't worry, I'm not throwing that. I feel they're using flour tortillas. And I feel like this is the ones that they're using because the shell just tasted really floury and puffy. So I feel like this is the type of stuff. That's my deep fryer telling me it's ready. So what we're gonna do is just cut it to the right size, and then we're gonna deep fry it, and hopefully by folding it like this, while deep frying it, we get a shape. So always use a reference point. Obviously this doesn't have to be extremely perfect. So I think this, we have a reference point. Ta-da! Let's try that.
That's perfect.
Thank you, come on. I think it's perfect too. All right, so we're gonna do all of them this size. So I'm just gonna layer a couple, I have 3 here. All right, everything is more or less one size, and this is absolutely perfect. When I tasted the beef in in Pancake House, I felt like it was kind of like nice and sweet and very tomatoey. So that's what I'm gonna try to recreate here. 1 clove of garlic, just get that nice and minced, because when we ate the beef in the taco, I didn't really see any vegetables or anything in there. So I think the only aromatic we're gonna use is garlic. I'm gonna get my pan nice and hot, get some oil in there, take some of my beef, just chuck it in, and then we're gonna separate it in the pan. Let that get nice and brown. What struck me with the beef, it was that it was kind of sticky and very gooey, and like this unctuous like tomato red velvet sauce kind of just like going on top and just being extremely delicious. So I feel like they use a lot of tomato paste for sure, and then I'm gonna use some canned tomatoes. But before that, we're gonna go ahead and chuck in the garlic. And then you could use some taco seasoning or just like all-purpose seasoning. These things are used a lot in commercial kitchens, so I feel like they have a variation of this probably. Now in goes some tomato paste. I'm gonna be quite generous with this. And then I'm gonna add some juice of the tomatoes, the canned tomatoes. And then get a whole piece of whole tomato, 2 of those. Crush everything together. Season everything with a little bit of salt, some black pepper, and just to help everything stick together and coagulate a bit, a little bit of sugar. Next step, so salsa, we're gonna do one extremely quickly. Tomatoes. The salsa was not wet, which tells me that they remove the extra pulp on the tomatoes. And then we're just gonna cube all that up. Once your sauce kind of starts letting the pan kind of shine and come through, then you know it's pretty much done. So we're just gonna go ahead and turn that off. Back to our salsa. I just need a little bit of onion. Just toss everything together. Season that with a tiny bit of salt. Next element we're gonna work on is our shredded or chopped lettuce rather. A little bit of olive oil, a tiny bit of vinegar, some salt, and some sugar. I'm just gonna go ahead and whisk everything together just to make it come together nicely. Really what I'm trying to do is just coat the bowl. Shred some lettuce. And then toss everything in the bowl. Done. Finally, the missing piece of the puzzle are the tacos. And this is where things can go very wrong, my friends. This is the make it or break it spot. So we're gonna go ahead and deep fry our tacos. All right, so the tacos we tried were a little on the oilier side. They weren't oily, but they were slightly oilier, which tells me that it probably starts frying at a very kind of like controlled temp. So I've got this to 170 degrees Celsius. We'll try it first. The thought process behind this, and this is me just trying it for the first time, is I'm gonna start flat. As it crisps up, that's when I'm gonna take my thongs, the thong, and press it down, and then just try to cup it. So once it's in there, I'll do this, and I'll do this, and I'll do this. So hopefully it'll go in that shape that we want. So one at a time so I don't mess up too much. You'll see that it'll slowly vary bubble, which means that the heat is kind of, yeah, perfect. I'm gonna be a baller and put two at the same time. Cha-ching! I'm guessing this will take about 5 minutes to get it right. You know what? I'm gonna start flipping this one. It's not gonna be the prettiest shape, but it's gonna give us something to work with. And in life, my friends, that's all you can wish for. We're gonna let them float around for another 2 minutes, and we should be good to go. I'm fairly okay with this. I'm fairly happy with this. It actually turned out okay. Let that cool maybe just a tad bit. So as that cools down, that's gonna get nice and crunchy. So yeah, let's go ahead and start plating this. Place that in there. All right, beef is in. Then it was salsa. And then it was the queso. Cheese, baby. If there are any Mexicans watching right now, I know, this is not a real taco. All I'm doing is trying to recreate a taco. So don't hate me, right? It's more of a Tex-Mex Filipino style version. Cheese goes on top. I'd eat that. Or actually, I am gonna eat it after we do a pretty shot montage. All right, it ain't shit if it doesn't taste good. Or it could just taste like shit. Layers look good, combination looks good, slightly heavier. The tortilla feels exactly the same, kind of very light and fluffy. A tad bit oilier, so maybe I had something to do with my old temperature. This is delicious. I think you'll like it if you try it at home. Very easy to make, except for the deep frying part. So yes, keep sending me all your comments and suggestions. There's been a ton. I like the ones telling me to go try Max Fried Chicken and try to do that. The ones telling me to go to Mrs. Fields and try to do some cookies. They're all absolutely fantastic suggestions, and I might pick some up very soon. So thanks for watching, guys, and I'll see you guys very soon. Peace out.